The government is to provide equal treatment, economically and otherwise. The government is to be a friend to the poor. If there is any bias, it should be toward those who rarely receive bias. Proverbs 29, if a king judges the poor fairly, his throne will last forever. In Proverbs 31, when King Lemuel's mom's going to give him some instruction, she says, the reason you shouldn't get blitzed and bombed and day drink at your desk is because it might inhibit your judgment, which is for this. Proverbs 31, open your mouth for the mute, for the rights of all who are destitute, to open your mouth and judge righteously and defend the rights of the poor and the needy. And church, when the king doesn't speak, when the king fails to speak, the church must. In fact, even if they do speak, we must speak. It's our calling to speak for those who cannot speak for themselves. We should expect the government to be the enemy of the oppressor. The enemy of the oppressor. We should expect our leaders not to get enraged when they feel like they are being treated unfairly or covered unfairly, but when since their people are being treated unfairly. Proverbs 20 says, a king who sits on the throne of judgment winnows all evil with his eyes. In other words, he's looking for it all the time. He's always on the lookout for evil. And the connotation is that if you were to stand in this person's presence and you were doing something wrong, you were cheating or oppressing people, that just the look that they gave you would be enough to scare you straight, right? And he says even more powerfully a few verses later, a wise king scatters the wicked like wheat and runs over his threshing wheel over them. In other words, good government says if you oppress people, if you treat people who are weaker than you, in the minority from you, worse off than you, whatever it is, if you oppress them, then you need to know that our government will roll over you like a iron wheel runs over a grain of wheat. That's what we're going to do. An enemy of the oppressor. See, all these things are what we should call for, work for, vote for, advocate for. Ultimately, they're a picture of Jesus himself.